back to the crappy camera. All we're doing is baking it. So I'll show you that real quick. So got a little skewer stick and these guys, double-sided razor. They're awesome. About the sharpest thing you can get. And then all you do is, let's see. Yeah. So it's got a little bit of a curve. And then when you hold it, let's see, like this with your thumb right there, so you can put a little bit of pressure onto it. And then the angle is, if your bread's like this, let's see, it's just at a slight angle. So anyways, throw some bread. So we got our bread. Let's go. So again, gripping just like that. Angle, let's see. That's gonna be a bat. Just like that. All right. So about 15-20 minutes with the lid on, which is what you're doing with that lid is you're steaming it essentially. So the bread's going to release a lot of steam as it hits the hot stone that's been preheated, and that bowl's just going to trap it in there. So you don't have to create steam. If you wanted to make weird shaped loaves, if you want to make baguettes, something that's long and skinny, think about finding like a lid that caterers use. They have those big metal square warmers. So if you wanted to make weird shaped loaves, you can do the same thing. Creating steam can be difficult. Otherwise, there's a lot of different ways to do it. This is the easiest way. It's just to trap the steam that the bread's already creating. Cheryl suggestions to prevent the bottom of the bread from burning. If your heat's coming from the bottom, that can be hard. You can turn down the temperature a little bit because my heat's coming from the back of the oven in this oven. So I have my stone sort of high up, and what I do is I bake it on the stone, and if I feel like it's getting too dark, I put it down below. Now for you, if your heat is coming from the bottom, it's always going to want to burn the bottom because it's catching all that. So what I do is I would put my stone lower down, and then as soon as it's done steaming, that 15 minutes, as soon as the bread's set enough to where you can move it, then move it off the stone and move it up. And the stone will then force the heat to go around it and up, and you'll be less likely to burn. Really, it depends on where your heat's coming from. So if it's coming from the top, if it's coming from the side, all that's going to be different. So you use the stone to either collect heat and then put it into the bread, or use the stone to hide the heat if it's coming from the bottom. That usually helps. So just don't move it too early until the bread is like set enough, because after 15-20 minutes it may not be quite there. So you want to wait until it's actually set. It's real kind of unstable. It hasn't fully gelatinized yet. So yeah, and then just bake it until it's done. We've talked about this. Temperature oven, it's up to you. So a lean dough, dough that doesn't have any lot or really any extra fat or sugars in it, should be about 210 to 215 temperature if you probed it when it's done. Also, just eat it when it's cool. If your color is too dark, turn your oven down. And if your temp is too blonde for you, turn your oven up. But if it's too dark and it's not cooked, then adjust accordingly. So anywhere from 475 to 525 is going to be about good, but it's going to depend on your oven. So, and very, very few of them are actually accurate. So, all right, we're going to make some sourdough waffles for Sunday morning. So we're going to do that tomorrow, as well as another round of bread. And then we're going to do some focaccia and some whole grain. We're going to do a seed soaker in the bread this week. this weekend. So we'll do sourdough waffles, and then we'll do a seed soaker. So we'll show you that. Mix in some seeds or whatever you got lying around, and then we're going to do focaccia and some more whole grains. We'll go over some methods for dealing with whole grain flour. I think we're doing like an 80% mix or something like that. So, all right, y'all. Catch you in a couple days.